had those times, haven't we? Moments when life just feels heavy, or maybe that sense of spiritual connection, it just feels distant.
Silent even.
Exactly, silent. So today, our deep dive tackles that very thing, that profound, sometimes really challenging experience of feeling God's silence.
And we're digging into a specific source for this, right? Praying through the darkest silence.
It's the one. And it focuses heavily on Psalm 88, which is fascinating. Our mission today is to unpack the, well, surprising insights this ancient text offers.
Insights for navigating spiritual darkness, and maybe understanding what faith can actually look like when you're in that valley.
Yeah, redefining faith in the tough times. Okay, let's unpack this. So the source we're looking at, Praying Through the Darkest Silence, it highlights something interesting right away. It mentions a specific date, July 4, 2025, but uses it more as an example, right?
Exactly. The point is that any day is an opportunity to bring your raw pain, not just, the polished praise, into God's presence.
And the core idea is really powerful. Even if you feel absolutely nothing, like totally numb. Even when life feels impossibly heavy, the underlying truth, it argues, is that God is listening.
And what's fascinating here, as you said, is how the source immediately zeroes in on Psalm 88.
Yeah.
It calls it the darkest psalm. And honestly, for good reason.
It really is stark.
Most psalms of lament, even really raw ones like Psalm 22 maybe, they usually pivot, with some kind of trust or hope.
A shift, yeah.
But Psalm 88, it pretty much stands alone. It just descends into darkness and stays there. No resolution.
No happy ending tied up with a bow.
None. Just a cry in the dark. It's raw. And that makes the act of praying within it feel even more, radical.
Yeah.
Even for ancient texts.
And when you actually read it, you totally get why it has that reputation.
Oh, absolutely.
This psalmist talks about being just completely overwhelmed by troubles, feeling like they're right on the edge of death.
Counted among those going down to the pit, yeah.
Yeah, like no strength left, cut off, adrift among the dead. It's bleak.
And feeling God's wrath heavy on them, swamped by these waves of distress.
And the isolation, companions shunning him, seeing him as horrible, feeling trapped, shut in, can't escape.
Vision dimming from sorrow.
Right. And then these dreadful assaults from God that he says destroy him, surrounding him like a flood. It's intense.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, the source points out something really remarkable here in Psalm 88.
Yeah.
It says, but here's the miracle. The psalmist still prays.
That's the key, isn't it?
It really is. Because this isn't about some sudden spiritual high or breakthrough that we often kind of expect or hope for.
Right. The source even says explicitly there's no breakthrough, no but God moment.
Exactly. It's just pain, confusion, silence. And yet the prayer keeps going.
Yeah.
For centuries, theologians have kind of wrestled with Psalm 88 precisely because it messes with our desire for neat spiritual answers.
It forces you to confront a God who seems silent sometimes.
And what that actually means for faith itself, rather than just giving easy comfort.
That persistence, though, it's really something. Despite all that darkness, feeling totally abandoned.
Yeah.
The psalmist says in verse 13, "But I, O Lord, cry to you. In the morning my prayer comes before you."
Day and night.
Day and night, continually calling out, spreading out his hands, even when he feels like God has just cast him off or hidden his face. It feels like an act of, defiance against the despair itself.
And that persistence, in the face of that silence, it leads to some really profound questions in our source's reflection. Like, what if faith isn't about feeling God, but choosing to talk to him anyway?
That really challenges how we usually think about it, doesn't it? We often link faith vitality with feeling something tangible.
Right, a connection you can sense. But this suggests maybe real faith is in that sheer, sometimes gritty act of just showing up, even when the line feels dead.
Yeah.
And it asks, what if the silence isn't absence, but invitation? That's a big one.
Wow. An invitation to what, though?
Well, maybe an invitation to a deeper kind of trust. Or, perhaps most powerfully, it asks, what if your darkest prayer is still worship?
Ooh, I like that. Because the psalmist isn't pretending. It's raw, honest truth directed at God.
Exactly. Not putting on a happy face. And the source concludes that this very act, this persistent crying out day and night, that is what faith looks like in the valley. An honest, unvarnished kind of worship.
Okay, so let's bring this back to you listening right now. Have you ever felt like that? Like God was silent, or maybe your prayers were just hitting the ceiling?
It's a common feeling, I think.
For sure. So what would it look like for you then to keep praying anyway, even in that deep silence? How could you maybe cultivate that kind of trust? The kind that believes he's still working somehow, even when you just can't see any proof.
It's a perspective that really challenges a lot of our assumptions, I think.
It definitely does.
And the source offers this powerful affirmation that really resonates here. God may feel silent, but he is never absent.
That's a crucial distinction, feeling versus reality.
Right. And it implies so much about his character, about our relationship with him. It means he hears, he remembers.
And he will answer.
He will answer in his time.
Yeah.
Even if it's not on our preferred schedule.
You know, it's just striking, that sheer act of continually crying out, spreading out hands to God, despite everything described in that psalm.
Mm-hmm. All that overwhelming trouble.
It's more than just belief, isn't it? It feels like an act of, defiant hope, a refusal to just give up on the connection, even when it feels like nothing's coming back.
This raises an important question. Why keep doing it?
Exactly. Why keep crying out unless, deep down, you truly believe there's someone there, someone actually listening? It points to a conviction that goes beyond just current feelings.
It's a profound testament.
So what does this all mean? Where does this leave us? I think this deep dive into Psalm 88 really does challenge our easy assumptions about faith. It shows that some of the most profound acts of worship, maybe the truest expressions of belief, can happen right there in the deepest valleys, in that spiritual silence, when we feel nothing at all.
It sort of redefines faithfulness, doesn't it?
It really does.
So maybe the final thought, the thing to really consider, comes from the source's concluding prayer idea.
Okay.
It's this idea that choosing to cry out, choosing to believe God is near, even when everything feels silent, and just holding on until the light breaks through.
Yeah.
That isn't just desperation.
It's something more.
It's a powerful, authentic expression of faith itself. It's like an invitation for us, for you, to hold on to belief, to persist in that relationship.
Even when the path is totally dark.
Yeah, even when you can't see the light at all. It's this profound choice to just keep walking forward, trusting in that unseen hand.